Today we will speak about group processes, including obedience, conformity, polarization, and leaderships, and will discuss how they influence group processes and group conflict. Conformity is a type of social influence that involves a change in beliefs or behavior in order to fit with a group. There are several approaches to conformity. Asch conducted famous experiment with lines. A person was asked to choose which of three lines on the right card matches the length on the line of the left card. When the majority of the group gave wrong answer, many participants chose to agree with it, even they saw that their answer is not right. Asch concluded that people conform for two main reasons. First, because they want to fit in with the group, normative influence, or because they believe that the group is better informed than they are, informational influence. Conformity tends to increase as the size of group increases, but Asch found that there is a little change in conformity once the group size reaches 4 or 5 people. Sherif modified this famous experiment, introducing more uncertainty. He used the afterkinetic effect. It's a visual illusion whereas a small spot of light in a dark room appears to move, even it is still. In this ambitious situation or situation of uncertainty, a person will look to others for guidance and adopt the group norms and perceptions. This conceptual or cognitive change in norms is known as informational conformity. Berry also used Asch experiment, but he applied it in different cultures and found that conformity depends on economic type and interdependence. High food accumulating societies need individuals who are compliant, whereas low food accumulating societies need individuals who are individualistic and assertive. Milgram conducted an experiment focusing on conflict between obedience to authority and personal conscience. Participants of this famous experiment were asked to administer electric shock every time the learner in the other room makes a mistake, increasing the level of shock every time. When the person refused to administer a shock and turned to the scholar for guidance, he was given the instruction to continue. 2/3 of participants continued to the highest level of volts. Milgram concluded that the extreme willingness of adults to go to almost any length on the command of authority constitute the chief findings of the study. What are motivations for conformity? There are several approaches. First of all, Festinger stressed the importance of informational influence. People rely on other people to verify personal theories of world. Usually, it's increased in situations of uncertainty. Levine showed that attractiveness of a group play an important part in the development of obedience. People show high obedience if they like the group. Deutsch emphasized normative influence. People tend to avoid negative perceptions of others. People conform to group perceptions because they want to be viewed positively by other group members. One interesting conclusion of this theory is that we are attracted to people with similar views because they provide validation to our ideas. Turner showed the role of social identity and self-stereotyping. As we accept membership in group, we adopt group norms and beliefs and think that all members of the group share similar views. Another important process in group is polarization. The decisions and opinions of people in group become more extreme than their actual privately held beliefs. How it's happened? During the group discussion, based on the exchange of information, the differences in values fade, and common group attitudes towards the situation become stronger. In this process, group also can be divided in several extreme parts, based on prototypical position of its members. Another important social process is groupthink. It was described in the analysis of Cuban crisis. It was found that in group, members ignore obvious danger, take extreme risk, and are overly optimistic. They discredit and explain away warning contrary to group thinking, and pressure any groups away who express arguments against the group stereotypes, illusions, or commitments. They see such opposition as disloyalty. Members also believe that their decisions are morally correct, ignoring the ethical consequences of their decisions. The group constructs negative stereotypes or rivals outside of the group, and they withhold any counter-arguments and perceive falsely that everyone agrees with the group decision. Some members even appoint themselves to the role of protecting the group. What are results of such group thinking? The group makes wrong decisions in comparison to the decision that could have been reached using a fair, open, and rational decision-making process. It fails to adequately determine its objectives and alternatives and assess the risk associated with the group decision. The group usually does not seek expert advice and uses only information that supports its position and conclusions. And finally, a group does not make contingency plans in case their decision and resulting actions fail. Finally, we will review three major theories of leadership: personality traits, relations between situation and a leader, and group dynamics. Personality traits theory states that a leader should have a specific list of features. Leaders should be confident, talkative, intelligent, extrovert, open to experience, tall, and physically attractive. For example, Matthew Paris, former assistant of the Iron Lady, called her a cross between B-2 bomber and a saber-toothed tiger. The theory of relations between situation and a leader states that a leader emerges according to functional demands of situation. For example, in situation of achieving group goal, task specialist becomes a leader, while if group needs internal support, social-emotional specialist become a leader. Ohio State study found that to facilitate goal accomplishment, leaders exhibit two types of behavior. One is people-oriented, consideration, and another one task-oriented, initiation. Consideration is the extent to which a leader is concerned with the well-being of their followers, an extent to which a leader is personable and understanding. Initiation structure is the extent to which a leader defines group member roles, initiates actions, organizes group activities, and defines how tasks are to be accomplished by the group. Interesting approaches created by interactionist model stress the importance of the match of the leadership style and the situation. This fit depends on relations between leader and a member, task structure of the group, and the types of leaders' power. Situation leadership theory emphasizes that leaders should adopt their leadership style to the group readiness and ability to undertake the task. One of the conclusions of this theory is redefinition of charisma. Usually, it is defined as a personal quality that gives individual influence or authority over large numbers of people. Instead, the theory states that it depends on the type of relationship between leader and followers. The theory also emphasizes the importance of style of leadership. According to different research, there are several types of leadership, including autocratic, democratic, charismatic, and so on. Theory of group dynamics represents different functions of leadership, including the role of leader as an agent of change or as an encourager of loyalty to group and guards of group norms. Theory of leadership explains how leaders influence their followers to adopt new and innovative attitudes, behavior, and values. First, leaders act in a highly conformist manner. and then over time they accumulate idiosyncrasy credits. It is individual capacity to acceptably deviate from group expectation. When they have enough these credits, they are free to encourage innovation and change group norms. The legitimacy of leader depends how he or she selected, what is her competences and knowledge, and how strongly a leader identifies with the group. Leaders are also usually served as group prototypes. Prototypes are not checklists of attributes or ideal types. Instead, they are actual people who represent the most important attributes of a particular in-group, including its beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. The group prototypes also serve an emotional function. Positive attitudes towards the prototype unite a group and, at the same time, facilitate the development of negative perceptions of members of outgroups because they differ from the in-group prototype. If in-group members share particular leaders as prototypes, their figures can strengthen in-group loyalty and the salience of in-group identity. But leaders not only represent group identity, they also shape a group and change meaning of in-group identity, introducing new goals, values, and norms. In your discussion during this week, you will see how different theories of leadership influence conflict dynamics.